welcome to 5Sisters Cafe. I'm Jenny.
I'm Eileen.
I'm Karen.
I'm Pam.
I'm Adrian.
Two or more kids getting along with each other.
Yeah.
I had to deal with fighting.
Yeah.
So did I.
I had to deal with kids that were in each other's way at every turn.
Well, they were a year apart. My kids were
Just a
four
year
and a half
apart.
years apart, so they
Oh.
had this big gap
Well,
that they
okay.
didn't.
And some kids, I mean, I had 6. The first 2 got along very well.
They still do.
They still do. And they all get along now. That's
Right,
the deal. Is
right.
is hope.
Oh,
Okay.
my
Yeah,
two
you always-
are
there's
best friends now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a time when my son and daughter,
The middle kids.
the middle son and daughter, they were maybe 13 and 15.
Yeah, that's a hard age.
Could not even sit at the same dinner table. So we just said, all right, this one eats in the kitchen. I don't force it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there just came
Right.
some times where it was so
Mm-hmm.
much friction. It's just you eat in the kitchen, you eat here.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Switch
right in
around.
that time too.
Yeah.
13 to 12 to 15 was the
Yeah.
years for my two, and there were times, and I kept reminding them, you only have one
I
brother.
did
Right.
that too.
You only have one sister.
This is your
for
family,
the rest
so-
of your life.
Yeah. That's really important to
Yeah.
say, to
Right.
verbalize to them, because
Yes.
in the moment, they don't care who
Yeah.
They
is
know
getting
they-
hurt.
Right.
I hate him.
Right.
I mean, there was horrible
And it's
things.
really important. I think that gets into them, because you say,
Yeah.
we love each other, we are a family, and you will want to be friends one day.
Yeah.
You are friends now, you're just angry with each other.
Right.
You're going to need each other.
You're
one
going to
day.
That's
need each
right.
other.
That's
And you're
what
going
I've
to want
always-
to be friends.
Yeah, that's what my twins, that's how they would, especially 12 to 15.
Yep.
It was, how are we in the same family? It was, you know what, I promise you, you'll get past this.
Yes.
And this will be your closest
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah.
In later years, I promise you, I don't know if they're closest friends.
Well, they're going to be
but they
allies.
will be
Yeah.
one day.
But they will
And
rely on
then-
each other as
yeah, some
family.
things have,
Right.
and family is family. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things
And
come up
reminding
later
them.
on down the road where you're
Yeah.
going to need
Right.
each other.
Oh yeah.
But-
I mean, look at
Yeah.
us. We're in our 40s and 50s.
We're in our 40s.
And
oh,
we're
wait,
close.
you are.
Yes. Not 50.
But there was a time we were in each other's way
hated each
too
other.
much. We were just in each other's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You know?
had kid tempers when we were teenagers.
Oh, yeah. We needed more space
Yeah.
than what was
you used to
there.
slam doors
Well,
in
And that's what really
And it
bothered
was a
me.
big house.
Yeah, that's what really, because when I slam door, Mom would open that door and I would be in trouble. She could slam doors, slam, slam, slam.
I remember. Mom, are you gonna let her do that? You know?
And see,
No answer.
we all get along.
And now, yeah.
Now she's got her own house, she can
And
slam
that's-
anywhere she wants.
And that's how I knew to tell my kids that when you guys are middle-aged,
You take
you
your
will
experience.
love each other. You will.
Right.
Just don't make any destruction permanent.
Right.
Right
Yeah.
now.
That's true. So yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Teach
and it
them to
worked.
apologize.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And teach them to think before they say cruel things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or to take it back if they've said it, which
Right.
usually have already said it. You know, and you have to, you did not mean that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want you to tell her you didn't mean that and you were sorry.
Right.
And you just have to walk them through how to apologize.
Right.
That's
And
not
I
an
would-
easy thing to do.
You're
I would
right.
always tell my
Right.
kids, how do you think that made them
And
feel? How would
teach them
you
sympathy.
feel if they did
Yeah.
that to you?
Right. Yeah.
Mostly with a lot of kids at school, I would say, how would you feel? How did that
Yeah.
make you feel?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Talking to them a lot.
I did have a few rules. One was my boys were never allowed to hit their sisters.
Exactly.
That was like,
We have
So he
a
just
number
knew.
one rule in our house that you just don't hit
just
each
a
other.
line, no
Yeah.
matter how
Yeah.
mad he got at
Right.
his sister, that was a line he just never
Right.
Yeah.
He
Mine
went out
too.
and punched the tree trunk.
Uh-huh.
Didn't he
The
put
hole
his
in the
fist
wall.
through a wall once?
No names.
But
I
you know
did
what?
buy- I
Every
did-
boy, almost,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that age, there's some
There's
physical
this-
damage to the home.
Oh,
He
yeah.
did buy a punching bag. That helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never had
That
any.
is a solution. That is
Yeah.
a solution.
Right.
No, but that
You
is a
didn't have
solution.
sisters. You didn't
We
have
had
sisters.
one
Yeah.
window broken
Nobody-
twice.
nobody
See,
could
two
push
boys
the
can
buttons.
wrestle each other.
Right.
Well, they
Right.
never
Right.
did. They
A
weren't
boy-
into wrestling.
well,
Well,
Four
it was
and a half,
4
years
years apart.
Yeah.
Nathan
Nathan
and
and
Ben
Ben
never
never
did
did
either.
either.
Yeah.
Nathan
Right.
and Ben never did
Yeah.
either.
How far apart are they?
They're 4 years.
Yeah,
Almost
the
four.
age difference is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
My
makes a
boys
big
did.
difference.
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
2 years.
But right. So it's different.
But you see, the wrestling always would get to a point where somebody got hurt.
Right.
It was never.
I remember that. It would turn,
always
you
would
go,
start
they're
out
laughing, and then
fine.
all of a sudden
Somebody's crying
Yeah.
and fighting for real.
Somebody got hurt every time. So I would be right there to watch the wrestling. Okay, good. Okay, that was too hard. You need
Yeah.
to back up a little bit.
Refereeing from the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
And then it would be fine. I mean, but you know, often you leave the kids alone or they're upstairs away from
Right.
you. Yeah.
Well, my older one would, his little brother, when he was a year and a half old, would hit him.
Oh, sure.
Aw.
That's
And,
typical
and
for
the
you.
older one wouldn't do anything, even, 2.5, 3 years old.
Right.
He'd just run, he'd like beat him up. And the older one wouldn't do anything. He'd curl up in a ball because he didn't want to hit him back.
And because he
Well,
knew
and
he
so-
could hurt him.
So, yeah, so finally I told him, he kept wanting me to make Robbie stop.
Oh, make him stop.
Whoops.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to use names, but sometimes they slip out.
Yeah. And so sorry. So I went up and I told him, you have to hit him back. There's no other thing. You've asked him to stop. You've asked him. I can't. You have to do what it takes. One time he shoved him away and he never hit him again.
That's all it took.
Yeah, just shoved him down.
He
Yeah.
didn't like that.
Yeah. But he wouldn't hit him. He wouldn't because he didn't want to.
That was, yeah.
He's a very sweet boy.
Yeah. So, but he never it didn't happen again. So.
That's all it took.
It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's just difficult. I mean, some kids get along wonderful their whole childhood, and some just from certain ages. They're really great friends, and they hit a certain age, and they become arch enemies. And just know it's short-lived, short-term.
Right.
They
Right.
get through it, and just try to help them bring harmony into the situation.
Right.
And sometimes they just do have to be separated.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give them ideas on.
My
You
kids
know,
would
Or
say,
talk to them. Why do you think you're doing this?
right.
Or what really
My
made you
kid-
mad?
Yeah, my kid would say, I love him, or her, I love him, but I really don't like him right now. That's how they would try to get through. I understand.
Yes.
It's perfectly normal.
So sweet.
Yeah. You don't have to like someone all the time.
Right. Right. Especially when you're teenagers.
Right.
Even we know they're not likable
Yeah.
all the time.
Right.
That's a lot of it. A teenager, they just need their space.
Definitely.
Need their own space.
Right.
And if they can't have their own space, like their own room, you have to find a way to help them create their own space
Right.
somehow.
Yeah.
I think it's also harder when they're closer in age because they feel like their friends are their friends.
Yeah.
You know?
That is, yeah.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's,
Yeah.
if it's two boys or two girls. My kids
Yeah.
never had really the same friends because,
Yeah. My kids have
Boy
all
and a
the same
girl.
friends.
oh,
They are just, of course, they're twins, so
Twins,
they all
yeah.
just kind of
Yeah.
were in that same, all have similar friends.
We had a lot of the same friends.
Yeah.
Just, it never was a, I can't
Yeah.
imagine.
You
You didn't know any of
Well,
them too much.
no,
younger
she
than
was
that.
too much younger for us not to. We kind of all took care of her and her friends.
At the very young years.
Yeah.
Like
But,
building a playhouse.
but playing with each other's friends, we'd go in pairs to somebody's house and play with their brothers and
Well,
sisters.
they had like
Yeah.
10 kids and families.
Well,
back
other,
when
but
we
other
were-
people, I mean, you
Yeah,
know.
but even then,
other
you guys
families
did
were-
have.
And then, but there were so many families
Yeah.
Oh,
with
yeah.
all the same age kids as
Oh,
us.
yeah.
So
right.
when one of us would go, or two of us would go, or three of us would go to a house, our other ages were there anyway.
Right. There's
So,
always someone to play with.
yeah. So we ended up playing big group games like
Right.
kick
Orphanage.
the can, orphanage, play orphanage. Yeah.
Learned all the Shirley Temple songs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Creative. Wasn't a lot of TV then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly nothing.
We only
Other
had
than
two
me.
channels that didn't have snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.